I call this meeting to order on April 20th, 2016 at 5:31 p.m. First order of business, roll call in attendance. Dr. Catherine Barlow. Matt Brown.
Here.
Joey Bryant.
Here.
John Deehan.
Present.
Gary Epp. Here. Dr. Serafini. Trey Justin. Rachel Knight.
Here.
Robert Lane.
Here.
Richard Miller.
Yep.
Dr. Todd Shiver. Nate Skiles.
Here.
Patrick Stanton. Andrew Sullivan.
Here.
Brittany Wool.
Here.
All right, moving into agenda approval. Please take a moment to review the agenda. John?
I'd like to make a motion to add budget overview after public comment before old business. Reason for that, coming out at the end of the year, we had, we gave a lot of money last week. Just talk about what we have left and go from there.
Is there a second? Richard. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Any opposed? Any abstentions? Vote carries. All right, we're in agenda approval. Any other discussion or additions to the agenda? Seeing none, all those in favor? Is there anybody in motion?
Oh,
Nobody coughed.
I make a motion to approve the agenda. as
John
amended.
moves a motion. Is there a second?
Yeah.
Richard? Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Any opposed? Any abstentions? Vote carries. Agenda is approved. Moving to item 4, approval of the minutes for April 13th, 2016. Any discussion? Is there a motion to approve the agenda? Brittany? Excuse me. Is there any motion to approve the minutes? Brittany? A second. Rachel? Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Any opposed? Any abstentions? Vote carries. Moving into item 5, reports. I don't have a report this time.
I have one to report back. Business Finance Committee met yesterday and approved request numbers 1617, 1618, and 1619. That's all I have.
All right. Moving into section 6, public comment. Is there any public comment at this time? I have one. I'm going to say it twice this meeting. For any of you who have not yet voted in the primary election for the student government, please do so after this meeting's over. Is there any other public comment?
I second that.
Okay.
I voted on my hand.
Good job. All right. Seeing no other public comment at this time, moving into section 7, old business. Or excuse me. Gosh, I'm not taking any notes.
Budget overview.
Moving into budget overview. I guess I'll start off this discussion by rashing off to you to see what you have to say on our budget from last week.
So this is kind of just an informative piece. Last week, after all of our approvals and given what we have remaining in the supplemental budget, we begin this day with $13,622.70. The
70.
70. Don't forget 70.
Yeah.
So that being said, the first item of business for voting on source, obviously you can see the amount exceeds what we have. What I will say on that is there's no intent to increase the supplemental budget for this year. That being said, and this is up to the committee, I'm not here to tell you what to do. Depending on how you want to vote on that first item, it would be permissible to increase the amount to cover the balance of what we don't have currently. So that's a big long way of saying, just a scenario, if the committee was to say, we want to approve the full amount, the $18,380. Okay.
Thank you, Eddie.
Thank you.
Any other discussion on that? Richard?
Would that mean we have nothing else to give for, say, the golf tournament or any other requests after that?
That would be correct. I mean, really, the focus right now, I think, would be on the source request, because either way, funds would be exhausted.
Can I just say something real quick? Because I was going to explain. I just got an email And, I don't know who it was, but they gave us $3,000 towards our speaker, so that would reduce it to $15,380.
Got 15?
Yeah, I just
Great.
looked on my phone.
Excellent.
Because I asked for that earlier, because they were talking about it today, that they would, I've been waiting all day.
Okay, great. Good to know.
Thank you.
Okay, sorry.
Don't be sorry.
Any discussion? Committee? Moving into, seeing no other discussion, we're going to move into old business, supplemental funding request 1624, source in the amount of $18,380. Well, it's on the agenda.
Right.
Can we pull up,
Yeah.
the list of all their expenses? And it's a question for Joey, but everybody to listen. As far as priority of funding, when looking at this, we typically in the past, at least from my experience being on the committee, we don't fund food, drink items. And I know that was, where am I seeing that number?
This was,
It's at the very bottom, 4,000.
And so that's a pretty hefty amount just for that, but otherwise, when I took a look over this, everything else seems pretty substantial. It's an academic event, so that's just an observation.
You did fund it
What was
last
the
year
question?
with
Yeah, hold
the
on.
supplemental.
Point of order, we're
Say-
going to stick to the table.
Sorry.
What was the question you
I
were
would just,
asking?
typically, we try to fund, we have like a priority list, we don't try to, we leave food and drinks out of it, typically. From when we.
Well, we normally, with that, the food and drink part doesn't fall under the priority list per
Right.
se, but I can see what you're getting at. We normally don't fund food in cases with, there is the ability that we can, and we have
Right.
that exception. And this is one that we have funded in the past
Right.
for that specific request. I know last year, that's specifically what we came to ask for, was the funding
Right.
for that. So while yes, in some situations, and in most of them, we typically won't provide the food cost of things, we do have the ability to, and this is one we traditionally have.
Okay, it was just observation, I'm looking at priority.
Yeah.
Brittany?
May I ask a question?
Yeah.
Have you heard any more about the programs? Has anything changed since last time we saw you? On how that's going? 'Cause you said you might not need the full 75 for that.
Oh, I just came from working with them on the computer, so we are going to have to print programs. But I'm trying to reduce those costs. Right now, we had 417 submissions, so that's like 65 more than last year. And how I'm gonna reduce the programs, I'm not quite sure. It's based on if they can get the website and the app running. They told me this afternoon that they were sure they could, but couldn't guarantee it. But I will know around May. Well, I don't know, I'll have the programs ready. I will have to go to print by at least May 7th. And yeah, they couldn't give me a guarantee, but they're working together really well. Our computer science students with public affairs, and we all met today. And it looks promising, but I could probably get it down like 3,000. I still have to print some type of program this year, but I think I could just print the abstracts and, not the abstracts, just the times the students were presenting and the schedule, which is about 50 pages, which then could bring the cost down to around 5,000.
Okay.
Hopefully less. I am really good at bringing down costs. I did that last year.
Well, thank you for answering.
Especially when it's student money. I really respect that.
I'd like to make a motion to support supplemental funding request 1624 in the amount of $11,380. Reason being
Motion.
less than $3,000.
A motion has been made. We'll go into discussion. Motion has been made. Is there a second? Gary seconds. Any discussion? Sure.
So reason being the 3,000 for the speaker and the 4,000 against the food drink.
Is there any other discussion? Seeing none, Rob, may you repeat your original amount?
$11,380.
Not amount. And without any other discussion, any in favor? Any opposed? Any abstentions? One abstention. The vote is carried in the amount of $11,380.
$380.
$380.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Moving into old business item 1626 alumni and student golf tournament in the amount of $900. Discussion is in that.
So who can vote on this? You two or you three?
I'm not gonna say
You
who.
can't vote.
I can't vote either.
That's a lie.
Sounds like
That was my golfer.
We gave them 11,000.
Yeah, we have 22,
22, 42.
And 77.
And
70 cents. 70 cents matters.
He'll come into play.
No, it really will. Somebody will want it.
I could do so much laundry with 70 cents.
You can almost
Huh?
do one
So
load.
much.
I'm just kidding.
Wash, I know that.
Sure.
Does anyone know what they have in their club fund?
I believe it's spent.
What?
I believe it's spent. Zero.
Mountain Club account, $60.
60 on there.
Close enough to zero. It doesn't buy what they're looking for, so.
And they're contributing 50.
I really like this idea. It's definitely beneficial, but I think that the College of Business needs to pitch in on this if they want to do it. Like we could, I think it's responsible. Like we can help them out with a little bit of the cost, but I don't think we should pay the entire cost. I think COB should pitch in a little bit.
Nice try.
And again, this will be the decision of the committee. The one part that I will say in an unbiased way, I would look at making sure that we can explain how this meets S&A funding, since it really is meant for the furtherance of educational purposes. I know it hasn't come up much this year, but we have highlighted specifically in previous years that the opportunity for networking or getting professional job pieces that we typically haven't funded conferences where that's the main purpose. Not that we don't have the ability to, but I think that the committee should at least have the conversation discussion on how this meets the educational component, if you all are choosing to fund it.
Or not.
So are any of you guys going? If you don't mind me asking.
I am.
Yeah. Can you speak to its benefit since someone's here?
If I'm speaking my whole truth, I don't believe that I would necessarily need benefits from S&A dollars to meet
It's-
this request.
It's paying our registration fee, it's $75 to go golfing. It's a networking event, so we get to go hang out.
And in all honesty, I think Rob is right in the sense that if this is a College of Business event that they want to host, then it's a College of Business event that they should fund. I don't believe we need to put it on the remainder of the students.
I didn't mean to put you on the
We
spot.
can pay for our own
No.
help, that's fine.
Gary?
With that, I would like to decline supplemental funding request 1626.
I entertain a friendly amendment. Can we say we move to, yeah, exactly. Do you accept? We move to table supplemental funding request 1626. You accept?
Well, and I guess the friendly amendment, tabling it
Indefinitely.
indefinitely. Okay, thank you.
There you go.
Thank you.
Do we have a second?
I accept. Gary, do you accept?
Got it.
Okay, thank you. Is there a second?
I thought that was what I was
Brittany just said.
Brittany.
Oh, I thought you were seconding the friendly amendment.
I second all of it.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for clarifying as well. Now, there's a second. Is there any discussion?
That's why we're tabling it indefinitely instead of just declining it.
Yeah.
What's the difference in the verbiage, I guess? Is it just a respectful thing to do?
That's what we've typically written in response to ones that we have declined. It's a, for the minutes, it sounds, I don't know,
Look
better,
better.
or it,
Sure.
it comes out as more, as a positive result.
Yeah.
Would you say the same?
Yeah,
Okay.
really you can word it
Sure.
either.
Is there any other discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Any opposed? Any abstentions? 2 abstentions. Vote carries. Supplemental, three abstentions. Excuse me, sorry. 3 abstentions. Supplemental funding request 1626 has been tabled indefinitely. Moving to item 8, new business, base funding program reviews, University Recreation Administration. Yeah, thank you.
How's everybody doing?
Hey, how are you?
Good. I feel like I should come to more of these. This is pretty entertaining.
It always.
So what's coming around is just some information. These are the last 2 S&A annual reports that we submit for this particular budget area. And then other things included, a little bit more about recreation is one of the things that as a crew and a staff that we worked together was creating our own set of values as a staff. And then on the back is our most recent org chart, if you'd like to take a look at that. So just more information. So this is my first one of these. I've been here for just over a year. If you're looking at the 2014 budget review, it has 3 different program managers on it. My predecessor's interim, and then myself. I was here for about 1 month of that fiscal year as far as that, when that period ended. And I've been here through this other process. If I can give you a clicker. Yeah. Just click. All right. So a couple things about us. Recreation inspires positive, healthy lives through educational and recreational programs, facilities, services that we offer the Central Washington community. As a program, we are 15 full-time professionals, 10 exempt employees, 5 classified, 2 unrepresented, 3 represented. And then we also have, at a given time, we employ over 150 students. Sometimes that number varies based on seasons. Some of the programs that we offer are in our areas are programmed through personal training, group fitness, intramural sports, sport clubs, our camp, CWU, climbing wall, challenge course, outdoor trips, and rentals. And additionally, we offer sports medicine, which is our athletic training, recovery, and rehab. So for this particular reporting area, this is this is kind of our backbone of our overall budgeting. This area it's our recreation center admin operations. And so primarily this budget is funded through 3 sources: S&A funds, self-support revenue generation, and our recreational fees. With that said, your S&A dollars are part of a flat-based fee funded for our administration. And so this goes to fund 5 professional staff positions, and I included those as being myself, the Director of Recreation. I'm sorry I didn't introduce myself, by the way. I'm Rusty Vineyard. I'm our current Director of Recreation. 2 assistant directors and a coordinator of intramural sports and a secretary supervisor. Primarily, those were in place prior to this building being built, and so therefore those are positions that were a continuation of being a base funded positions for university recreation. And that's, I mean, like, to be honest with you, that's your dollars go right to administration, putting on the work that you see or engage in every day. And so I want to open this opportunity for any of you to ask more questions, the one to get to know about our programs. If you got more in-depth questions about your dollars and how they're spent, or any variations of amounts you see on your sheets. Yes, sir.
I think I already know the answer to this, but on your spreadsheet on the first page, you've got student payroll of 2,284. That's just the S&A portion of that? Or what is
No, actually, that is that part of that is through rec fees. It's we had a individual who was a temp position for our intramural coordinator for a short period of time on both periods where dollars carry over.
Okay. You said you had 150 student employees.
Yes, sir.
So where's that reflected?
No problem. We have other areas that receive S&A dollars. Our sport clubs, our intramural sports program, our outdoor program receives a small portion, a small chunk.
Okay.
And so that's where the majority of the student employees are. I was just giving you a little history of where we're at.
Speak to the point, we like it. Straightforward.
Good thing I really overthought this.
I told you you were gonna.
Like sweating.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
When there's no programmatic pieces, it's all covered under the other ones.
You covered everything.
There we go.
Moving into section 9, other business communications received.
No, that's not where we're
See
going.
ya.
I'm doing one.
Subsections.
Exactly. Supplemental funding, we're moving into item C, S&A guideline updates, presentation or voting. Let's see, who do we want to start with this? John, you were the chair.
There's copies at the table if no one has theirs.
Yeah, there's more copies.
Yeah, well, I'll speak on behalf of John. For those of you that don't still have yours, there's copies of them on there. There were no additional changes or edits suggested by anyone. So as it stands right now, the only changes are what you see highlighted on there, which are mostly the changes of the name of Board of Directors or BOD to Student Government. So this time, if anyone has any additional edits, changes, or suggestions to make, they can make it now. Otherwise, it's up for anyone to make a motion to approve.
Well, oh, you want to finish?
Go ahead.
Alright.
Yeah, you can start us off.
I don't have one. I thought it looked good.
Oh, okay.
So.
Make a
So-
motion.
Yeah.
Didn't you just say you had
Well,
I know what
I was
Renee
just
was
saying
saying,
that
yeah.
there was, most of it was the
Yeah.
BOD, the student government,
you.
but on
Yeah.
page 2,
The very top.
it was stated that the incoming board shall appoint, and actually it's the dean of students that appoints, the incoming board nominates.
Yeah.
So I changed that, took the CWU BOD out of there and changed it to the dean of student success. That was the only other
Yes,
change
that-
besides the BOD to student government.
Brittany?
I'd like to make a motion.
Okay.
What is it?
Accept
I approve.
To approve.
Approve it. I approve the student services and activity fee guidelines updated version.
A motion has been made. Is there a second? Richard seconds. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion has been made to pass student services and activities fee guidelines at Central Washington University is approved.
Just so you all know, this will now go on to be officially approved up through the Board of Trustees, but I don't think they're gonna spend too much time going over it. Hour-long discussion.
I now enter to item 9. Item 9, other business communications received. Joey?
This is really a combination, it doesn't fit into any of those, but following where we decided to vote, just so you all know, with the $2,242.70 that we have remaining, what that means is if we get other funding requests at that point, that we can look and entertain those. Just so you all know, if we do end up exhausting the funds for the year, where we still will have meetings simply because we have to for the sake of public comment, or if there are additional things that need to be brought up to the committee at that point, but just so everyone doesn't think if we spend it all, we no longer have meetings at that point. So we still have a meeting already next week because we have one more base funding program review, and then we have 3 meetings in May.
Start bringing snacks, hangout time.
And then we will be discussing and bringing up here soon, at some point, we will be doing a committee dinner at the very end, which will be that, whatever that week is right before.
No,
Christmas.
we can also increase the amount if we run out of money.
We could, yeah.
And there's something that comes forward that we would like to fund or
Right.
support.
Yeah, and that's a little bit, I think, what Andy was talking about earlier.
Yeah, and a lot of those things, right, kind of cross over when we come to it, I think, see what that looks like. It is possible, but see what happens.
No other business communications received. Moving into item 10, public comment, second call. Gary?
I just wanna let you guys know, I'm not gonna be able to make it the next 2 weeks because of the elections.
You got a little speech?
And once again, make sure to vote in tonight's primary, and the it's due by midnight. Seeing no other public comment, moving into adjournment, is there a motion to adjourn? Rob motions, is there a second? Richard seconds, any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Any opposed? Any abstentions? This meeting is adjourned at 5:49 p.m.